Welcome back to another episode, guys. I'm owner Haas. This is the HasMedia podcast, the #1 marketing podcast in the world. I'm here with my co-host,
Okan Haas.
and we have a very special local guest for you guys today. His name is Nick Zamora, owner of Espo's Italian restaurant in Raritan, New Jersey. Welcome, Nick.
Hey guys, how are you? Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Of course.
This is gonna be awesome, man.
I'm excited.
Let's just kick right into it. You own Espo's. It's kind of like an iconic area, like a iconic spot in Raritan.
Yep.
Been around because you didn't own it.
1974.
1974.
Yeah.
So how did that whole thing play out? Because there's a lot of rumors going on when it first kind of when the owner died. Rest in peace.
Yep.
And I remember like one of the rumors was like, they sold it to this kid, from Bridgewater, and they said that he couldn't change the menu, and there's like a contract and stuff. So like, tell us a little bit about like how you kind of like got into Espo's.
So, I went to Espo's my whole life. Specifically with my dad, we lived in Bridgewater, and it was kind of like our little local spot. Like after football practice, like a lot of memories, a lot of when I was 21, I think we went there for the first time for a legal drink. I was drinking before then, no question about it. But it was like a place very dear to our heart. And as I went through culinary school, I graduated from Johnson & Wales. My dad kind of was always like, you know what, that would be a good first spot. It's small, it's manageable. We kind of heard that Bobby was looking to sell throughout the years. I think everybody really knew that he was looking to kind of sell. And I started working at Wolfgang Steakhouse in Somerville, which was...
I think I remember that too.
Yeah. I was bar manager and then assistant manager, and really kind of got like a good groove going. The customer base there, thank God, I really do have at Espo's now. So met a lot of great people. One of them, my wife, my business partner. So it was kind of like the starting point. And I didn't want to work there. My mom was like, listen, you're not traveling after school. I know you'll never come back. She's like, I think that's a good place. And it was a good start. I ended up working for a restaurant group after that in Princeton. And on the interview, he asked me what I want to do. And I said, I really want to own a restaurant. And he was opening up a bunch of restaurants, and that excited me to kind of see it from, concept to opening and creating a staff. And I told him, I said, listen, I really want to own a restaurant. I said, but I'd rather practice with your money and make mistakes with your money before I do with mine. And he laughed. He said, "I like that." He goes, let's make it happen. So I was there for a bunch of years. Princeton wasn't really my
Cup of
tea.
Yeah.
Clientele was completely different from Wolfgang's.
Yeah.
I don't think they ever saw somebody in a shark skin suit either. So that was, I wasn't exactly the Princeton, focal point. I kind of stood out like a sore thumb, which I liked too. I didn't really care. But around that time, I'll be honest with you, we were driving to the Belmont Tavern, which is another dear restaurant to my heart, another iconic Italian-American restaurant. And it was like, I don't know, Wednesday, it was like today, rainy, completely miserable out. And my wife, we're at the Somerville Circle about to go to 78. And my wife's like, you know what, Nick? I don't want to drive all the way to Belleville. Let's just go to Espo's. I said, yeah, you're right. And my son was like 4 months old. We put his carriage right on the table. And I talked about Espo's to my wife a little bit, not that much. And she looked at me and she goes, you know what? After dinner, she goes, you know what? You should really try to buy this place. I said, she goes, I just feels right.
Yeah.
And Bobby was at the end of the bar. He kind of knew I was interested already. We talked. Next day we had a conversation, and then that was really it. Ball started getting rolling, and then he passed away. So it was...
Were you guys in talks while...
Oh yeah, we were in negotiations. We had a kind of like a transition in.
How long ago was that?
That was October, November, December 2018.
Okay.
So it was, at that point, it wasn't as big as a project as it became. It was kind of more like, oh, I transition in, he kind of transitions out, kind of like a passing of the torch type thing.
Right.
But he passed away. So the family ended up closing the restaurant. And it was kind of like, it was a little shocking because
Yeah.
the whole deal changed.
Yeah. It was like up in the air during that time.
Yeah, it was up in the air. Yeah, it was up in the air.
I remember reading an article. I don't know if I don't know if I got this right or not, but I could have sworn I saw an article that said like something along the lines that Espos might be closed forever and like not reopened.
Well, because when they closed and it was like a sudden close, like they announced like it was right before Christmas. It was like 2 days, and basically they sold out all the food that they had. The family decided to close the restaurant, and the article came out like end of an era, like it was done. That was it. That was really it. It was done. Long story short, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
My partner and I came together and ended up purchasing it while the restaurant was closed, and it gave us the opportunity, because it was closed, to do the renovation.
Gotcha.
And the renovation really solidified that next chapter in its life to be that generational restaurant that it has been. It gave it a lot more life. Whereas if I just came in, doctored it up a little bit, transitioned in, he transitioned out, I wasn't really going to do that much.
Right.
And I feel like it also created a little bit of hype around it. That, like someone else was
Yeah,
taking it
it created-
over, and it's like everybody thought it was shut down for a little bit, and then it's like, damn, like it's gonna open back up, and who's the owner, and who's this? You know?
It was. I remember when I thought the deal was going to fall through, because I'll be honest with you, I was crying in the Bridgewater Mall. Not crying, but I was emotional. I told my wife, I'm like, it's not going to happen, and she's like, listen, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And it was. And I remember where I was when it kind of leaked, like it wasn't supposed to come out, but when we closed, it did come out, and we weren't really ready for it, and it was like my phone didn't stop.
Yeah.
It didn't stop, and I was like, we were talking about like Facebook and stuff, like I was like, what's that called, when you, I was like claiming their Facebook page. It wasn't really a Facebook page, it was one that Facebook makes, so I was claiming that, claiming Google, and I changed the profile picture to like an updated logo that I had, and it went nuts.
Yeah.
Like 40,000 views or likes, I don't remember, but it was like, it was nuts. And my phone like overheated. That's how, bing, bing. I mean, it was.
That was probably like on an iPhone 10 or iPhone 11, right?
I don't know what it was. It could have been a Motorola flip phone, but it was nuts. And so the buzz was definitely there. And the rumors were going around. They thought it was the guy Nick that owns a million restaurants around here that disappear. They thought it was Wolfgang's. And it's like, I tell my wife, I'm like, the game of telephone is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of misinformation, and people only really, they think they're listening, but they're not listening.
Very surface
a lot of
level.
that conversation happens at bars, so everybody's all tuned up and drinking,
100%.
so information gets, mixed around. So, and then that's really it. I mean, the renovation started, and it was, I was still working in Princeton, had a conversation with the owner of the restaurant group, and I was honest with him. I told him what I did. I told him I wanted him to know before the article came out, because, there was an article that was going to come out, and he confided in me that he was actually selling his restaurant group.
Oh, wow.
So he was getting out of the business. So we were able to kind of have a nice relationship, nice working relationship, to make my schedule flexible. He didn't want to find a new manager, and I needed the income to stay afloat.
Alive,
So it was really good. So
awesome. So you were working with them as you were opening up Espos?
Oh yeah, I would go to Espos in the morning. My wife would go to work. I would take my son Santino, and my brother would literally babysit Santino in the car.
That's crazy.
And like, a lot of it was demo, because it was like dust and stuff, and like, but my brother really like babysat Santino while we were renovating.
Yeah.
How long was that renovation process?
from March 16th until August 16th. So what's that,
About 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months.
Yeah,
6 months. 6
Yeah.
months, yeah.
That's
So
crazy.
it was a family affair. I mean, it was.
So during that transition though, when you were, I guess, more stepping in,
Yeah.
can you tell us about a little bit like the changes? Was there any major changes that you kind of had in mind, or?
Yeah, so I mean, I was lucky because George, who everybody knows from behind the bar and the grill, is the bar manager. He was like the front of the house operations manager. And then Phil, who's the chef, he was more, he's the chef, right?
Right.
So brought them on early in the game, to help kind of start getting logistics, ready. And we really just kind of started piecing it back together. Like the renovation was one thing, right? The biggest thing was with the renovation was, how do you take something that's old, kind of falling apart, make it new, but also still recognizable, right? Like we don't want you to walk in and be like, what is this?
Right.
We want you to look and be like, damn, this is Espo's, but like
elevated.
50 years ago. And elevated,
yeah.
but like 50 years ago. Almost like it brought you back in time to when it
It does
first,
feel like that.
it's old school. It's not like modern fixtures. My mom is an interior designer and like,
Right.
she wanted modern this. And I'm like, Ma, that's not like, I know the Tiffany lamp is ugly. I know, it is, but
Yeah.
it's nice.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like the pinky ring I wear it's ugly, it's gaudy, it's not nice looking, but I like it. It's nice.
Yeah,
Not
absolutely.
everything has to be,
It makes it unique.
gives you character,
Gives you character,
unique, yeah.
yeah.
We got the
it still keeps
Budweiser.
the authenticity of the place.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
You're not trying to be something you're not.
No, completely authentic, unapologetically,
Right.
true to
But
itself.
I do get that feeling when I walk into Espo's. I do feel like it
Yeah,
brings me back.
that's what I'm saying. Like even your brick, like I love the brick. I love
Yeah.
the retroness of it. Even on my website, if you go on it,
Yeah,
the
you got
front,
the- you got the bricks, yeah.
it's the brick,
Yeah.
and it's transports you back to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, at that point, it's really about like it was creating a team, creating a menu, because I wanted to keep most of the food the same. Of course, why would I?
Absolutely, yeah.
Why would I buy this brand and this name and these recipes to change it? That's
100%.
but I saw opportunity for growth. So, appetizers, clams casino, clams oregonat, fry galamad. Took away a couple things, definitely, that just weren't big sellers, as per George and Phil. And then I had to put my own spin. I mean, pork chops and different types of steaks and specials. And it was definitely a progression. It definitely, I probably had 10 different menus that I would constantly change. This is too much, too little. Is this too upscale? Not upscale enough. Price was a separate issue.
Absolutely.
I wanted to really keep as much of the old prices that I could the same. I didn't want there to be complete sticker shock.
Yeah. What would you say was the biggest challenge through that whole process for you, looking back at it?
The biggest challenge with what? The menu or the renovation?
Just the whole transition period. You stepped in, kind of, I know it's a little bit of a vague question, but
I guess I'll do it in parts.
Okay.
I think the menu was combining the old with the new, and also trying to keep the prices in line with what they had to be and
Right.
what they were. Because some of
Right.
them were really out of whack.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of them that were like, listen, if you keep these prices,
Yeah.
you're going out of business,
Absolutely.
right?
because it seems like from what I'm hearing is you kind of stepped in, but you wanted to keep the identity.
Oh, I
of
had
Espo,
to, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Right, but
yeah.
like-
But the identity was like the vodka sauce, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like the identity.
Absolutely.
And steak parm.
Yeah.
That's the, you know what I mean?
You
That's
guys
the.
have the best.
Oh, steak parm's the best, yeah.
Yeah.
So there were definitely some certain key dishes that were more important than others,
Right.
and there were some down the line, right? Year 1, year 2, year 3 that now I have a POS system, so I could see what's actually selling. Chicken cacciatore, not a big seller. It's got to go. You know what I mean? It's got to go. So the modern,
Technology.
the modern technology is coming into play, and you can see what's selling, what's not selling,
Right.
what's working,
Yeah.
what's not working.
You're collecting information. You're collecting that data, and you're being able to
Right.
make more appropriate decisions.
Sure, yeah, actual fact-based decisions.
Right. You're not just guessing.
You're not
off
just
of emotion.
guessing, right? Exactly. You know, where there's a little bit of guessing as far as what was selling, what wasn't selling. I don't know. I don't think it was. I don't think there was one specific difficult part. I think it was just I had a really good support system behind me, and I think it wasn't easy, but it wasn't like, oh, this one part, like, you know,
Gotcha.
was
Makes
really.
sense.
Yeah, I don't know. It was.
Yeah, that's it's a crazy story. I mean, this is the first time I'm hearing like the nitty gritty of everything.
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah.
you've ever told anybody else, but like I feel like a lot of times, especially in the restaurant industry, people think that, you know, this restaurant just opens up, it comes out of thin
No.
air. You know what I mean? I mean, you have a background in culinary school. You went to Johnson and Wales.
Yep.
And then you're working with this hospitality industry
Yeah.
or company, right? So you learned a lot of skills down the way.
Yeah, you know what? I always wanted to do that. Like when I went to culinary school, people were like, what do you want to do when you grow up? I'm like, I want to own restaurants. Like, I don't want to be an executive chef. I don't want to be a general manager. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
It's not where I saw myself.
Absolutely.
My grandparents, I was in Florida in March, and they saved me like these drawings of menus and restaurants that I drew when I was like 9 years old. And even though the concept changes, it was like it was just there, like it was destined. And like growing up, like that was my identity. Like, no, Nick wants to own restaurants. He wants to own restaurants. He wants to,
Yeah.
you know. And it wasn't. There was never a question in my mind. And I thought, college, but also out of work, like I have to work in every single position in a restaurant in order to own one day. 'Cause I can't tell a dishwasher how to dishwash if I've never done it.
1,000%.
I can't tell a front of the house manager how to manage if I've never done it.
Right.
I can't tell my line cook he's overcooking the macaroni if I don't know how to cook the macaroni. And you got a lot of restaurant owners that have no idea.
Skip all the steps.
Skip all the steps, or maybe it's just something inherited, or whatever the case. But
Yeah.
they you know, they don't. They're not leading by example.
Absolutely.
You know, they're just saying do this, not do this. You know, I'm telling you to do this because
I think with that as well, because I can relate that to our business as well.
Yeah.
We've been through a lot of stuff because we started from the ground up essentially. But when you know, essentially like the pasta, for example, it's
Yeah.
not cooked right.
Right.
And you go back and you look at that and you can tell them this is how you cook the pasta, right? I
Yeah.
think that's essentially what makes you, that elevates you and makes
Yeah.
you a better, you know,
course.
makes your food better. Because you could speak from example, you know what
Yeah.
you're talking about. And it's the fine details. Those are like the little things that usually make you the best.
yeah.
essentially, you know?
And I think it's easy to say macaroni's undercooked
Right.
or it's overcooked.
Right.
Whereas you could say, hey, macaroni's a little overcooked. I saw you're cooking it, you know, a little bit too much or too little, or you know, you're not storing it properly, or
Right.
you got to give them reason. You can't just say it's, you know, oh, that video looks like shit. Well, why does it look like shit? You know what I mean?
Absolutely, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nick's whole head is, you know, you're missing the best part of his hair. That's all. I mean, why is it framed like that?
Yeah, yeah.
You know, it doesn't make sense.
Absolutely.
So,
So you always had a dream of opening up a restaurant. Did you think that like did you always have your vision on Espos, or did you have any other spots?
And was
that
it
you
always an Italian that you want to get into?
I went through. It's funny that you say that because, like, I went through. I'm half Spanish, so
Oh,
when I
okay.
was younger, I thought I was gonna have a Spanish
Oh,
restaurant.
no way.
And when I was older or getting older, it was like I want to have like a nightclub. I want to do like a supper club, or I want to do like a dinner and a dance type place. And then, like, you know, you kind of start like really being, all right, Nick, you're really gonna do like a dinner and a show, like you'd have the Copacabana. You're not gonna have the Copacabana, okay? It's not Goodfellas. They're not gonna bring the table out in front of you, okay? You're not gonna have the Copacabana. So I think then, like, Espos, as me and my dad, it became more approachable. Like, I'm out of college, like, we know he wants to sell. So it kind of just happened organic. I think it just happened, and I think it was a perfect fit. I think for both parties involved, and but yeah, the Italian definitely became like the main focal point. Did I think I was gonna own this iconic restaurant like that? No. So that's where I think like the kind of the kicker came in, because
Yeah.
like a lot of emotion, a lot of pressure. Maybe that was the hardest thing. That's probably what it was.
Pressure?
The hardest, not I felt like I had to live up to Bobby.
Yeah.
And like I felt like if I fuck this up, I'm gonna let a lot of people down.
100%.
Yeah, that's a lot
And
of pressure.
and I was okay with not making everybody happy, because there was a lot of people that didn't like Espos.
Yeah.
It was a red sauce joint, right? So it was a heavy, thick sauce, gave you agita. Like there wasn't that many options. It was dark lit. There was no updated features. You couldn't get a good glass of, a good wine. Like there's a lot of things that people didn't like. I wouldn't say it was a hole in the wall, but it was close to a hole in the wall. I liked that about it.
Yeah.
I loved it.
Love it.
Right? Me and my dad loved it. My mom was like, nah, let's go to Uncle Vinny's.
Yeah.
That's the truth. So that was probably the biggest pressure, is I'm like, damn, I gotta really do this the right way. Like I can't embarrass myself. It's my reputation.
Right.
Like it's literally the brand of the restaurant, my reputation. Like this is my chance to show everybody what Nick is about. And if I fuck it up, like what's you know what I mean? What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? Go work at a casino? Like that's the only other choice.
Yeah.
But
But at the same time, too, I mean, it's like you took that chance, and if you did fuck up, it's like at least you took the chance, right?
yeah, no, well, at least you took the chance. And I think as scared as I was of fucking up, it wasn't really an option in my mind, honestly. It really wasn't an option. And again, support system. I would have never been able to do this without my wife, ever.
Yeah.
She was there. She, I was 24. That's young.
Yeah.
That's young. Brand new kid. We weren't even married yet. We were engaged? I don't remember. Yeah, I think we were engaged. But we weren't married yet. Like,
We'll cut this one out.
cut that one out. Yeah. Nah, leave it in. She knows. I missed our anniversary last week. But that was because we got married twice. One during COVID, one after. So the dates are a little, I'm a little bit of a screwball sometimes.
Yeah.
So I gotta pass
Yeah,
this.
that whole time frame was a blur.
Yeah, it was a blur. Yeah, it was a blur. But
So going into, starting with, starting the renovation, you're starting to build out everything. Like you're saying, like day to day, your brother's, babysitting your kid.
Yep.
Like, what was that like, the day to day grind of actually putting everything together? Because like a lot of people don't see that part of it, right?
No.
When you're building a business,
guess what? Everybody wants it all
Yeah.
until they have to go out and get it.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. Nobody wants to wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, go gut the place and put stuff together, and then come home and get dressed and go to work, and then be up all night, creating a menu online. Nobody wants to skip Cousin Al's wedding because you got to do something. Nobody wants to work on a holiday. Like they say they do. Most people don't.
Yeah.
Trust me when I tell you, most people
sure.
don't. So they don't see the grind because they can't even understand what it takes
To get that out there.
to do it.
Yeah.
And
So-
the restaurant industry is one of the harder industries, because on those holidays, you guys are the ones that are
Yeah,
usually open,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Whereas
and-
other businesses, like they might be closed on Memorial Day
Yeah,
or something like
yeah,
that.
and the failure rate is
It's
up
through the
there.
roof.
It's up there with probably the worst.
It's
out
probably
of any.
it's one of the scariest industries to get into, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of the hardest. Yeah.
So then you start, you're going through your day to day. How long did that period take from like start to finish? And obviously it
Hasn't
was-
stopped.
Yeah.
It hasn't stopped, but
But the day that you opened up, like the day that you opened up the doors, like what was
Yeah.
that feeling like? How bringing in the customers and all that?
it was
Like,
surreal. It was
yeah.
surreal. I did like a bunch. I did like 2 soft openings with like just the bar. There was like a Raritan day and some other day I did it where I just did drinks, no food, just drinks. Let people kind of come in and see, because I was real secretive. Like I had these big signs. I wouldn't let anybody in to see it.
Yeah.
I would do like teasing Instagram videos. Like Instagram got me pumped, and Facebook, because we had a ton of interaction, a
Yeah.
ton. There was like more articles coming out about it. People were calling me. When we opened up the doors, it was August 19th, and it was unbelievable. We had like a ribbon cutting ceremony, and people, they were lining out the door. But like for me, like I kind of didn't want to tell people.
Yeah.
Because like with the kitchen, like you gotta, you know, you can't just like give them a whole dining room to cook for. Like it's not, you know what I mean?
they're
Like
not used to
they're
it,
brand
yeah.
new team. They never worked with each other.
Yeah.
I took one guy from here I knew, one guy from here,
Oh, yeah.
and like had a
Some
bunch
people
of
don't think about that.
had a bunch of soft openings with my family and my partner's family. Like, did like every party we had was just like chicken parm. My wife's like, I'm getting really sick of vodka chicken parm, Nick. I'm like, well, you're gonna get sick of it for the rest of your life because I don't know what to tell you. But like every moment I had to test something out, I was doing it.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm like, can cook these pork chops. I'm like, which one do you like better?
Right.
You know, Dad, try this drink. You know, all that type of stuff. So when we open the doors, like, I've had a lot of openings at first restaurant, you know, like first days of restaurants opening, you know,
Yeah.
that weren't myself, and I could tell if by the first day it was gonna work.
1 second. There we go.
They're coming after me.
Go ahead.
No, I could tell just by like the first night. I was like, you know what, that wasn't a disaster.
Yeah.
And I've had some openings where they're disasters.
Yeah.
I've had some services where like they are disasters. And I remember my first disaster shift at Espos. It was like a Thursday night,
Okay.
completely just perfect storm of like which cook came to work drunk, like which one came hungover, which one didn't show up, like, Dad, can you make salads tonight? Like just a perfect storm.
Of just, yeah.
And it was awful. And I remember going to George, I'm like, this will never happen in this building again, ever. And it never has, thank God. But I kind of needed that too. Like it couldn't have been all like roses and hunky-dory, like, oh,
Yeah,
100%.
you're doing so well, Nick. No, it had to be like a little reality check, like, you know, you're doing well, but you have to also learn what can come, you know, with bad.
What's the most selling dish that you guys have? Like number one?
Vodka rigatoni.
Yeah.
Yeah, vodka rigatoni, chicken parm,
Yeah.
anything in the vodka sauce. That's definitely
The
no.
Hotsy Totsy shrimp.
Hotsy Totsy shrimp.
Yeah.
That's my
yeah.
favorite. The Hotsy Totsy shrimp. That's my favorite.
So you get it in the vodka or the regular?
With the vodka.
I always get
So yeah, like the vodka like wasn't even a thing. Like it's not even on the menu. Well, it's not, no, it's not even on the menu. The vodka.
Yeah.
But like people know, like like there's a lot of secret things on the menu, but people
Yeah.
know like, oh, you got to get that in the vodka sauce. But like in the beginning, it was supposed to be just marinara.
Yeah.
And then like I remember one day one of my servers was like, can we do that in the vodka sauce? And I was like, that's not gonna taste good.
Yeah.
I'm like, make me one. Let me try. I'm like, holy shit. I'm like, that's really good. I'm like, that's really good. So
Yeah.
a lot of stuff happens like that.
Yeah.
Like unexpected.
Happy accident.
Unexpected, an idea. I've always had cooks that like I'm a little nutty and they're like cool to do things on the fly. Excuse me. So we kind of have fun like that. It's you know, it's creative, just like you guys. You know,
Yeah.
it's creative.
So I think the old, if I'm not mistaken, the old Espos used to do vodka sauce.
Yeah.
But it was like
No, that was
it'd be a hassle though, like to ask.
No.
No?
So the story is that the old owner never had it on the menu, right? He had a real limited menu, and as the years went on, he would add things to it. No different than me, but he was a little bit less receptive to change. And Phil, the chef, used to make the vodka sauce like every Thursday for family meal.
Gotcha.
And Bobby's daughter tried it one day and was like, this is the best thing I've ever had. Like, why is this not on the menu? And Bobby was like, no. Well, the daughter ended up putting it on the menu unbeknownst to Bobby. So he walks in one day and some guy orders vodka sauce. He's like, we don't have vodka sauce. And the guy's like, it's on the menu. And then that was it. That was kind of like the
So
story.
I definitely want some vodka sauce.
Yeah, we might have to go to Espos.
Huh? Yeah.
But so all right, so you have so you got everything. The doors open up. Everything is
Doors open, everything's going great, making money, having fun, can see the vision coming through, and then March 17th happens. What was that, 2020,
Yeah.
COVID. But I remember being at the bar, and basically it was like a party. It was like this is the end, you know what I mean, of humanity, right? Espresso martinis, like just, it was not a lot, and by then, it was starting to slow down business too.
Yeah.
Like probably 10, 14 days before he came on and said 14 days to stop the spread, shut down the restaurants, business was starting to go down. And the way I looked, I was like, you know what? I'm like, I worked my ass off. I'm like, 14 days doesn't sound that bad. You know, I'm like, we'll just close and whatever else. Like, it is what it is. Because you could do the takeout only, but I was like, how do I'm like, nobody's gonna come here just for takeout. Like, crazy.
Yeah.
And this is kind of funny. Like, I never did takeout when I first opened. I never did takeout. Espos did takeout before, but I never did because we were so busy. When I tell you we were busy, we were busy. Mm-hmm. We were so busy that the kitchen couldn't handle it. About a month before COVID happened, I went to Lisa and George and Phil. I said, listen, we're going to start doing takeout. I said, I just think we need to start creating an SOP for takeout. People are asking for it. It's a revenue, side we're not really capturing right now. We have to do it. I don't know if that's God giving me a little heads up.
Yeah.
But by day 10 of the 14, we knew this was going to be a long haul. Like, this is not going to be. So
100%.
we opened up. I guess this is probably the second disastrous day. I lied. I said I never have one again. But I had like a skeleton crew. And my dad, Big Pete, a friend of mine, one other bartender, maybe two. I had like 2 line cooks and a dishwasher. And I'm like, all right, we're going to give it a shot. Like, it was like a bookie's office. The phones went nuts. And I had an SOP, but not
up to date for that. Yeah.
Well, we stagger right now. Like, if you call, like, basically I could do, with dinner, I could do 3 orders per quarter hour. That's why when you call, sometimes we're pretty hard on the times, but it's to pace the kitchen. So I don't screw over the customers and you guys get your time right. It's you got to work it out.
Right.
There was no pacing here. It was just like pink, selling those cheap stocks. Like, it was just like, right, giving it, yeah. My wife came in and she's like, oh my God, you need a visor and a cigarette and one of those like receipt things. She's like, you look like you're taking action. Like, if anybody came in, looked at you guys, you'd be arrested. They don't know what you're arresting you for, but like, this looks like a movie. We're taking all these orders and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta check the kitchen. And the kitchen is just like, Nick, what the fuck are you doing to us right now? Like, we can't do this. So now I'm calling people. I'm like, hey, get off the fucking couch. I'm like, come to work. I need you. I ended up calling like 6 people. Everybody that I had to lay off back then, they all came back. So we got through the night. It was a little disastrous. People had to wait like 45 minutes to an hour, but
it's worth it.
The community came out. That's what it was. The community came out. Like, they didn't care that they had to wait an hour.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
They were just happy they were going to get Espos. Like, it was something that they lost during COVID, and we all lost a lot of things. Yeah. But so, takeout was tremendous.
So the community had your back.
Oh yeah, and they've always had our back. We wouldn't be here right now without it. But they really showed up. Like, I felt like they did that with a lot of restaurants, a lot of different things, a lot of small businesses.
I think with Espos, it's such an iconic spot. It's people want their Espos around here.
Yeah.
You know what? They want consistency, and I think the special thing that I'm really diving into now with my own kids is that generational. Whether it's a baseball game like the Yankees, same thing, right? Like, my dad went to Espos with my mom. Mm-hmm. Then he brought me. Now I brought my wife. And now I'm bringing my kids. So they have that like multi-generational. Like, I have customers that came, 50 years ago, and now their grandparents or great-grandparents with their grandkids. That's special. I don't care what type of business.
You can't buy that.
No. It's a built-in database. Just think about it. It's like, what I mean?
Yeah.
I know it sounds a little morbid, but like, one person dies, but one person's born. It's like a phoenix.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time and effort and to generate that, but it's the most beautiful, and that's how I grew up. Like, every restaurant we ever went to had a family history, whether it was Down Neck Newark, the Belmont Tavern, Arthur's. There's a million different restaurants. That's, even when they went downhill, right? We didn't care. It was a memory. It was a place we want. It was like a hit list of places that we always went to.
Right.
And I think that generation, it's something special, something to share.
100%.
And
You did a great job, man. Like, kudos to you. Like, you really elevated Espos. And
Nah, it's-
a lot of the things that you brought, the way that you handle with your team, and you can. Marketing is, because we do a lot of marketing for a lot of businesses, but people don't realize, like, they think marketing is just advertising.
Yeah.
But it's the way that your staff presents themselves. It's the way that you
Yeah.
present yourself. It's the way that you present your food. It's the way that, down to like what the building looks like, how you guys take orders, how you guys serve people, how you guys treat people. It's like everything packaged into one, and you guys do a hell of a job.
no, I
Yeah,
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
Even with a lot of your servers and they remember names, they remember
Nah, they're
people
the
coming
best.
in. They're the best.
Listen, like anything else, right? You're only as good as your team, and I got a great team. I have a phenomenal team, and I can't do it without them. And I think it's important, right? Like especially in the restaurant, you see these people more than your own family for the most part.
100%.
So you got to surround yourself with like-minded people that have the same vision, same goal, same brand recognition, and that hold all these values that you have. And it's it's tough.
But I think as a leader, right, you have
Yeah.
to kind of allow people to see that. And,
Sure.
And not everybody has that skill. Clearly, you have that skill.
I think they see the heart.
Yeah.
Like they see it's more than just a restaurant.
Right.
It's more than just money. Like when you see my kids in there, like this is the real deal. Like when you see family and how much it means to you, I think that's really where you're gonna get you're like, damn, like I don't want to let Nick down. Like I gotta be the best employee I could be, because it's like, I want this place to be successful, right? Because the success of the restaurant is my success too. That's something cool about a restaurant too, right? Tips, like the more I make by default, the more everybody else is making. That's
100%.
right. We got to break bread together. That's what it's all about. You can't be a gavone and take it all yourself. You gotta break bread.
Yeah.
Right. But I just think it's important. I
Yeah,
just think it's
100%. And you
important.
could feel that too. Like, I mean, whenever I go to Espos, it's always a special night.
It's familiar.
Yeah, it's familiar.
It's familiar.
It's a special night, and it's like, I know that I'm going to be taken care of.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a lot of these, like,
It's rare.
yeah, it's very rare.
Very
a lot of these
rare.
like corporate, establishments that are doing chains and stuff, and even like restaurants.
Well, it's robotic.
Yeah.
It's robotic. A lot of restaurants have and I'm huge on this, and you wouldn't think these two words really kind of go into a restaurant. They got no character, and they got no personality. It's blah. There's no music playing, or it's the wrong music.
Yeah.
Okay? The lights are either too high or too low. Like, you have to create an ambiance that excites people to drop money at your restaurant.
100%.
You have to create an experience.
Right.
And like my staff is like, this guy is so nutty with the lights and the music and the, I'm like Sonos has to be at 38 and 50. You know what I mean? Like the levels.
I've literally been at the table, and I'm pretty sure you came up to me one time and you're like, "Hey, owner, you think it's a little too bright in here?"
Yeah.
Like,
Oh yeah. Like but it's the other thing restaurants don't do well, and I'm a stickler on this, is cleanliness. Like, go to the bathroom in most restaurants, and you're gonna get skeeved out. Like,
Yeah.
look up. Like, if you see dust on a lampshade, like, imagine what the kitchen looks like. If they don't care about dust up there, they're not gonna care what the toilet bowl looks like or what the
True.
like. You want to really see what's going on in the back of the house that nobody sees. Look upstairs. Look up at the light fixture.
Yeah.
If you see a cobweb, they're not doing their job. I go in and I sit at different places to get different perspectives. I mean, my staff hates it, but it is what it is. Like,
It's
I
how
don't.
you operate.
Yeah, it's like, you know what I mean? I mean, one cobweb it doesn't mean you're dirty,
Yeah.
but like, you have to have that cleanliness.
It's that attention to detail.
Yeah, attention to detail. You have to have a care. You got to be methodical. You got to really look at things. You got to be a little anal. You got to be a little nutty, but like
Does that come with a certain vision? You think? Like you're trying to
That-
portray a certain feeling. Like when I walk into Espos, I almost feel like I'm on a movie set. almost. Like as soon as I walked in, that first feeling, you're standing there.
That's a great way to put it, actually.
I shake your hand.
I did a movie there once.
Really?
Yeah, I won't tell you what. A little short film. I won't tell you. You could probably find it online. But
We'll put it in the show
it is
notes.
kind of like a movie,
It
right?
really
I
is.
got the pink Cadillac out front.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it is kind of like a movie. I don't know. I don't know. They say New Jersey's gonna be the next Hollywood soon.
Yeah,
on
that's
Netflix,
what
so
I keep
maybe.
hearing too.
Maybe
Maybe
Netflix picks up
Maybe
Espos.
they'll come. Maybe they'll come in. I'll be like the next Spark Steakhouse or something. I don't know. But no, it is kind of like no,
Gives me that
definitely.
feeling. It just brings me,
Yeah, it's a vibe. Yeah,
puts me in like that atmosphere.
yeah. No,
You
it's
know?
definitely a vibe.
But I
and-
think you kind of it's because just saying before you were saying you want the lights to be a certain way, the music needs to be a certain way.
Oh yeah, you got
You know,
to create the
You
atmosphere.
got to create that atmosphere, but
Music's big.
I think I don't even think you realize it, but because you're so fine tuned with that
Yeah,
by I guess by
Default.
you just create that experience.
put
you
it
know?
this way. I think when you just think of like Espos, right? Like just the name, right? You have to like give it. You gotta give it life, right? Like it kind of died a little bit, right? Like it was
Yeah.
getting older. It was kind of, you know what I mean? Like it didn't have that much energy. It's like a power boost when you're playing like Call of Duty or something.
Right.
Like you have to give it life, and once you give it life and your own personality and character goes into it, by default, everything around it, the name, the people you hire, the music you play, creates this own self, right? Like,
Right.
you know, I'm not there all the time anymore, right? But I know when Lisa's there, and just the energy I've created, right? Like the sign up above has me in it, you know. So hopefully when I'm not there,
really does.
hopefully when I'm not there, you still feel
Yeah.
a little part of Nick, right?
Yeah,
and just
absolutely.
know I'm always watching on the cameras. So, even though I'm not there, I tell my staff I'm still there. I see more of the cameras than I do as
Maybe that's what that feeling is.
That's
when
what it
you're
is.
watching.
Yeah. It's really just like this. It's really me like this, and my wife being like, "Listen, you might as well just go. If you're gonna be on the camera at dinner all night, you might as well just go. Like, I'm sorry we're not entertaining you enough, but." And that just doesn't. That's not from a lack of trustworthiness for staff or anything else. That just becomes, it's your baby. It's like watching like a newborn on like a baby camera. Just you're not worried about it. You just want to see it breathing.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
you're just, you know what I mean. You just want to just make sure it's still there, right? You know it's in the next room.
Yeah.
The baby's not crying. You know he or she's okay. You're just proud of it. You just want to watch it sleep.
Yeah,
like
awesome.
you know what I mean. Like
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
That's a great
So.
That's awesome. I mean, like it's just the vision that you create. I mean, that as an entrepreneur, you have to have vision, and you need to build something. I feel like a lot of times people get into business because of the money, or what they think they're going to make, or what they
Yeah.
look at the end result. Okan always says it.
I mean, you got to think about that.
Yeah, 100%.
Right?
But it's not all you think
No.
about every day and every hour, right? Because if you're looking at if you're sitting in, and now that you mention it, I see you sitting in different parts of the room. Like you're sitting down looking at like if there's cobwebs, or if there's dust, or if there's this. It's like those are the little things. Is the macaroni or whatever cooked properly?
Yeah.
And you have this attention to detail. That's what creates that atmosphere. That's that marketing, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's
branding.
That's branding. And,
Branding. And you have to stay true to it. Like, there's a creative side that comes out, right? And, I can definitely do specials that are a little bit off-brand.
Yeah.
I think I get away with certain things because...
My favorite one is the veal chop marsala. I mean, it's just...
I had that last week. Where were you?
You should have texted me.
Huh?
I would have came.
I think you got to stick with the brand. Like you have to. You got to dive into I do all the specials, right? Create them, I cook them, I show my staff how to replicate them, and that's what I do, and I have a lot of fun doing it. Sometimes I do a special because I have to creatively do it. Like I have to just get that out, right? And it may not sell, and I'm okay with that. Like I did, the soft shell crab sandwich. That's what I have, right? Like. It either works or it doesn't, right? But
Yeah.
I feel good at least trying it.
Is that a thing recently? Sorry to cut
What?
you off, but soft shell crab, is that like a
No,
thing in
it's
the
a new
restaurant
thing
industry?
to you,
though?
but no.
No, but because I
They're
swear to
very
God,
popular. Vinny's does them.
yeah, but I'm saying
He's got a
like,
sign that says like "Got crabs" or
Well,
something,
yeah,
right?
yeah. But I'm just like,
They're very popular.
We went to a restaurant this weekend, and then they had their special like soft shell crab.
Yeah.
We went to a diner on Sunday.
They soft shell crabs?
Soft shell crab, like
Just
what's it-
pro
like
tip.
special.
Pro tip: don't get the soft shell crab.
Oh
at
no,
Diner.
I would never.
no.
No, but I'm just. What I'm trying to say is that like did the prices go low on it or something? And everybody
No,
wants to
they're
jump
as
in?
high as they've ever been. No,
Really?
it's a season, so it's like twice a year where you could really get them.
Gotcha.
So it's a delicacy. So like right now we're kind of like in the beginning start of it, and then they'll kind of taper off and they'll do,
Yeah.
yeah,
Gotcha.
because the crabs molt. So they molt their shell, right? Their hard shell, and they get the soft shell, and you can eat the shell. So I love it. You ever have them?
No, never
No,
had one.
never
never.
had.
I'm gonna bring you 2 sandwiches before.
All right.
All right, I'm bringing 2 sandwiches.
All right.
Thank you.
They're phenomenal.
Okay.
People get a little freaked out. Don't get freaked out.
Yeah, I won't get freaked out.
Don't get freaked
I don't
out.
have anything.
But no, but it's popular, and they're expensive. So the restaurants could charge because they're a lot of money. They cost us a lot of money.
Yeah.
So, but
So with marketing, right? Because we got a marketing podcast. We
Yep.
talked about branding and just just kind of like putting the vision together. Is there anything that you do with like marketing, whether it's like joint venture or advertising or anything like that, or did you rely on the community?
Yeah, is it a
mostly?
lot more community based or?
so like the Instagram and Facebook kind of blew up, right? And then during COVID, it became every day I would post my specials. Like back then, I would either do like new ones every day, or I kind of created a system where I would have two sets of 3 specials. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, an appetizer, pasta, and an entree, and then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the same thing. And I would post the specials every day. And like a couple times, I'm like, this is a lot. Like I gotta post, like, cause what I do is I created this template, and it was a picture of one of the specials, and then like a thing I made on Canva that was what the specials were. So it was like a 2-part template with like what the special was, a couple emojis, swipe left. Like I made again a template which I like to use. And I was like, damn, this is a lot. And I stopped doing it for like one day. People were like, Nick, what are the specials for today? Like aggravated that I wasn't doing it every day. And I was like, all right, I got to do this every day. Like I don't know. Like I'm like, all right, So it became, now I post every day, and it's a lot. Like,
Oh, yeah, trust me.
right?
Yeah.
It's like, I don't think people realize, like, small business owner, like, you're your own marketing firm, you're
Right.
your own cook, you're
Yeah.
your own janitor, your own,
Yeah.
but like this takes a lot of work. What you guys do takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
And it's a pride thing. It's a branding thing. It's like, I'm like, son of a bitch. My wife's like, what's the matter? I'm like, 102 likes on this. I'm like, this was a 200 like post. I'm like, I'm telling you right now. I'm like, was my lighting a little fucked up? It's like, I'm the only one that could take pictures of the food. I have like 1 or 2 areas in the kitchen where I like the lighting. I like stop production. It could be Saturday night and I see a special. Everybody has to stop cooking. They want to kill me. But it's like, it's important. Like, I got to get the shot.
Yeah.
And then you start creating, like, I like doing things where I have two, anybody in your business could look at my page and is like, I know what this guy does.
Yeah,
It's not rocket science here,
right.
but you create your own style, your own template, and you rock and roll with it. But it's tough, and
Yeah.
that's just the Instagram and the Facebook.
Do you think that helps at all? Like,
Of course it does. Listen, when people come in for the specials,
Right.
people yell at me because I don't have any more of certain specials. Like, people come in for the picture. I can't tell you the amount of people they're like this. They don't say my name. They're just like, I want this. And then, like, I get a kick out of people. They have the menu in front of them, and they're on my Instagram page looking at the specials.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's how you know it works.
Yeah, that's
100%.
true.
That's how you know it works.
Sure.
Like, forget about the likes or even like
Yeah.
the insight and all that
Absolutely.
analytics. Like, whatever, it is what it is.
Absolutely.
I'm lucky because my business, I get to see it full
Full circle.
circle. Like, I remember last week, I I use Wix for my website,
Okay.
and I put the specials up there. It was a Tuesday, and I didn't refresh the website. I didn't publish it, right? So it was like 4 o'clock, and this guy comes to the bar, and he's like, "I'll have the soft shell crabs." I'm like, "Soft shell crabs?" I'm like, I'm sorry, man. I'm like, that was Sunday. He's like, "But look, like, it says," I'm like, I fucked up. I'm sorry. Like, I'm sorry. But like,
Yeah.
it just shows like
People are paying attention.
people are paying attention. You got to be on it.
Yeah.
And like, you have to make sure everything looks good, you know, and I have somebody that does the website, you know, helps me with the website. And it's like, you know, we get, you know, turnaround has to be quick because people, like, you don't want them to go on the page. It's like a dead page.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, that's not acceptable. We can't be doing that. Like, it's gotta look good. But
Well, also people look forward to it too when the specials are changing. I mean, I know I look forward to it.
no, they look forward to it. It's fun. The more creative I get, the more people want, like, what I call like my classics. So it's like, you know, they love the newer stuff, but they would be okay if I did chicken franchise every single day of the week.
100%.
You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
and that's one of the biggest sellers as a special is our chicken franchise. Probably the
So
best
good.
you'll ever have.
So good.
They're like, oh, put it on the menu, put it on the menu. But I kind of, I like not having it on the menu.
Yeah.
I want you to come to Espo's, which is going to be this weekend, all right? But I want you, you know, perfect example, right? Memorial Day weekend. It's going to be a little bit slow in all restaurants. People are going down the shore.
Right.
I'm going to do chicken franchise. You know why? I know it's going to bring people in.
1000%.
There's going to be people that come that say, you know what? Fuck the shore. We're going to see Nikki for the chicken franchise. I'm not kidding you. But like, you have to think like you're bringing people in, you know, a special or a wine special or a certain private event or whatever it is. You're trying to create traction, trying to create revenue. So,
So talk to us a little bit about that though, like with the like, you're creating offers essentially, right? With the wine specials and all these different things. It's like, you know what's gonna bring in customers, right?
well, I think you think you know.
Yeah.
Right? You
100%.
try stuff out, and I think I am at this point in my life trying to go more outside the box. Like, I'm not afraid to take risks, right? Like, you got to start up, try to create some traction, see what works. You're in a good spot. Now you're not there every day. You could be a little bit more creative, a little less hands-on. Now it's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna take some risks.
Right.
I'm gonna do some things that I normally don't do. If it works, it works. In the beginning, I wasn't like that.
Yeah.
I was like, everything has to have a system. Everything has to have an SOP. It cannot fail.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm a huge thing about, like, we have processes for like takeout and catering that, like, it has to go through 3 people. Like, when you get a takeout order, right? 3 separate people have checked that order. So if you don't get your right order, 3 people messed up,
Dang.
which is unacceptable.
That's
Yeah.
nice.
That's a breakdown of like processes, communication, like that's piss poor. So when that happens, it hurts me because I'm
Yeah.
like, damn, like 3
So-
people at the same time failed,
Yeah. That's actually I didn't even think
you know?
that
So
was even in place. You know, that's
It's-
something like that. Because that kind of tees up my I guess we'll kind of start wrapping this up, but because when I go to Espo's, I mean every time like, it's always consistent. It's always
Yeah.
top of the line, always consistent.
Sure.
Does that kind of spill over to what you were just explaining before?
yeah, that's the key.
That's the
yeah.
key?
Yeah. Hospitality, consistency, value. Yeah, consistency is huge. Because I'm going to tell you something. It's tough out there. Cost of goods, you go to ShopRite, you're a family of 4, single mom, like, it's tough, and especially in New Jersey.
100%.
It's tough to make $1. Like,
Absolutely.
it's tough right now. So when you're coming to Espo's, I want you to feel like you got value. And people's vision on what value is very different. Some people look at it as how much food am I getting, right? They don't care what they're eating. They just want a lot of food. That's their version of value, and that's okay. And at Espo's, we give you a good plate. You're going to take some leftovers home.
Yeah.
Others people, which is really where I look at, is more consistency. If I'm going to spend X, I want to make sure that X is good every time. I don't want to go to this new restaurant, spend $600, and it be dog shit.
You're right.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
I
also don't want to go to McDonald's for $10 and it be dog shit.
Yeah.
That's you know what I mean? Which like a Happy Meal now is like cost me like $26 for like 2 Happy Meals. It's ridiculous.
It's
But, like,
crazy.
I don't want my kid to be like, Daddy, the French fries are cold. That's
yeah.
unacceptable.
Right.
Yeah.
You have to be consistent because things cost too much money for them not to be. Like you go to the grocery store and the bag I did the other day, I was like looking at like the lettuce, it's like bad. Like I'm not buying that.
Yeah.
You go to Costco and you buy steaks and like they want to put like the end cuts in there. Like no. I'm like, come here. You're gonna give me the good ones.
Yeah.
But they do that. They get cute.
Yeah.
We could do a whole separate thing on Costco.
Yeah.
Because they get cute. It's not nice. Not
We're
nice.
gonna have you on in another episode.
Yeah.
Too, so.
No, so I think consistency is huge,
Yeah.
and you got to give people good value.
How do you keep that consistency up, though? Like, what is there a secret behind that?
I'm neurotic. No. Consistency is like the products you use, which is difficult. Like there's some products we get that we just can't get, you know. But I think it's personnel, branding, like you're saying.
The systems that you create,
Systems that you create are huge. Yeah, definitely.
like the,
Right.
the fact that it needs to be checked 3 times before it goes out.
Yeah, no doubt. But like things have to be like Phil is the king of consistency. He makes that gravy. He makes the sauce every day, you know, and he has a standardized recipe that he uses. And when he's not there, somebody is using that recipe, creating the same product day in and day out. And when something's wrong, it doesn't get served because things happen.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, Phil leaves a little early. I got a guy in there. He's supposed to be stirring the gravy. He forgets. It burns. 9 out of 10 places,
They'll serve it.
they serve it.
Yeah.
I could just, I don't even have to look at it. I could just smell it. I'm like, you got to dump it. What am I going to tell you? I'm like, they're aggravated with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, you just wasted $300. I should be aggravated.
Yeah.
I'm just happy you didn't put it in the walk-in.
Yeah.
So, but it takes time and effort. It takes a care.
Yeah.
It takes a care and attention to detail.
Yeah, it seems like you're very like, you know, on a macro, you can just kind of see everything that's going on, but also you can see every little crevice as well. You know,
No,
you
completely.
can kind of zoom in and zoom out.
I could walk through the restaurant. I did it last week. I could walk through the restaurant, and it was a scallop dish. It was supposed to have microgreens on it, and the dish was probably 20 feet away from me, and I could tell it didn't.
Yeah.
Is it a big deal? It's a microgreen. It's a garnish, right? Did the customer know? No. Was I aggravated? Yes.
Well, that's what makes it great, though.
It was incomplete.
Yeah.
You know, and I think
But that's what separates a lot of business owners.
Yeah.
I don't think that could be taught.
You
Yeah.
can't, no.
You either have that or you don't.
Yeah.
And I'm not patting myself on the back here or anything because it's a sickness and a curse. You know,
Yeah.
it's tough because I'm the same way at my house.
Yeah. We've been through with editors and just doing video, you know, because when me and my brothers first started, it was a lot of, you know, going on CapCut, not knowing how to do things, taking us 3 hours to make one edit. Now we can make an edit in like 30, 40 minutes.
That
But
you do yourself or that somebody else does for you?
when we first started, it was just us
Yeah.
for somebody, like for a client, right? But as we started to grow and getting more editors on board, it's like, look, like, you know, let's just say there's music in the background. It's like, you can barely hear it. It's not creating emotion. Or, you know, they're cutting words out that they shouldn't be cut out and stuff like that, where it's like, you got to pay attention to the details because what we're trying to create is this emotion on the other side of the screen for when that consumer's looking at it, they're fucking locked in, right? So it's like,
and
that's the brand.
And if you're editing their work, the people that are working for you, editing these things, it's taking more time to edit their work than it was for you to just do it yourself, that's not good.
no, 100%.
That's not good.
Yeah.
No.
It's like you have to see my vision and turn it around quicker because I'll just do it myself and I'll save the money too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
1,000%.
But if you're trying to scale a business in a certain way to expand and do more different aspects, you need quick turnaround and people that really grasp what you want to do quickly.
Well, one thing, a rule of thumb that I always go by is you know, when we have new editors or new employees on board is like, the thing is, when they grow and they up their skills and they're creating videos better than you are, right? I love that, right? Because I want them in a year. I always say this. I want you in a year from now to come to me and say, I'm worth this amount of money and you either paid or I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Because you know what that means? That means they got so good. When I bring on other clients, they're going to be like, holy shit, like this is a great product, right? And that's how we grow and scale and attract new customers. And if they don't have that, we usually, end up parting ways because they just want to be stuck in their own ways.
Yeah.
And then they don't want to grow. But
Man, you want people to motivate you.
100%.
Well,
Because when they're better than us, I'm like, fuck this guy. It's
Yeah.
like
Good
internal, good competition.
Yeah. No, and that's you got to surround yourself with the right people. That's what it comes down to.
100%. So we got like 10 minutes left because you got a hard stop at 4:30. But I got one more thing. I think you might know what I'm about to bring up. But social media. I don't know if a lot of people know. But Lil Mozzarella came through the joint.
Yeah.
How was that whole experience? Like having an influence?
So he came by. We did the 50th anniversary party last year, and he came by to celebrate with us, and it was funny. It was funny. I mean, he was out of control, but he's like, we're doing the video, and I'm animated, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, damn. He's like, you're fucking good. He's like, you're not bad. And it was just, again, branding, right? Like, why wouldn't he love Espos?
Yeah, 100%.
You're not going to love the pink Cadillac. Like, you're not going to like the joking around. Like, how could you not like it? So it was fun working with him. And he was great because it wasn't just like he just came in and thought he was a superstar. Like, he came with his family.
Yeah.
And, he asked what we wanted out of the video and stuff like that and what we didn't want. And then even like with the editing and certain things like that and, the combined post, he was very professional.
That's awesome.
So, very professional. Even like booking him, he was professional.
Mm-hmm.
He was very, 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 very professional. So
you reached out to him though?
Yeah, reach out to him. Come by if you can. We'll make it happen. And if he has interest, he'll come by. And it was a lot of fun. But he's I have nothing but the utmost respect for him.
That's awesome, man.
And I probably said "How you doing?" probably like 45 million times. I think my kids say "How you doing?" now. It's like customers after that. Got a lot of like customers that were just seeing it on Facebook, TikTok, like Instagram.
It's the power of digital, man. We always say it's just
the omnipresence.
It's the
I mean, that's what we haven't talked about. Is like I did the specials and whatever, but like this past actually since then the 50th anniversary, I started doing the videos.
Yeah.
And that's like a whole nother, and we talked about it even 2 years ago that I wanted to do it.
Yeah.
That's like a whole nother
beast.
Oh, it's like my employees are like, this guy's gonna come in with a movie trailer next. Like, I don't know, like he's just too much. He's bringing props in, cigars.
That's awesome, bro.
I have fun with it. It's fun, but it takes a lot of work.
Yeah,
it does.
Like it's not easy.
I think a lot of what happens is people see it at face value a lot of times. It's just it is.
They think it just happens.
It just happens.
But it's like again, you have to have a plan. You have to have kind of a script, right?
Yeah,
you have to have like, what are you trying to portray?
Right.
You want to stay relevant. And then once you get a good video, like I got a video on TikTok, it hit like almost 500,000 views.
Oh, that's awesome.
Right?
That's really good.
It's a little addictive.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's game over. It's like crack, man.
It's complete crack, right? And my wife's like, she's like, you lost a little weight. She's like, you think you're hot shit. Like, she's like, you really do. And I'm not kidding you. I swear to God, I go to Wegmans, I get stopped.
That's awesome.
Nick, I love your videos. I'm at the restaurant. It's like, forget about it. But I go to places and they're like, oh, I was at the wedding. My cousin's wedding.
Yeah.
And they're like, I had no idea who I was, no idea about the restaurant, whatever. Like, I've seen you on TikTok.
That's so sick.
Are you Nicky Espo? And I'm like, yes, I am.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Man.
So it is pretty crazy. And like I tell my wife, I say, listen, if I put a bad video out that's not that funny, they're still seeing my face.
Yeah.
It's like the takeout boxes I have. Again, marketing.
Yeah, 100%.
They're beautiful boxes. And growing up, I'm not kidding. My dad would have millions of them in our garage, and he used it for like nuts and bolts and like, because they're nice boxes.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? Other restaurants maybe won't spend the money or the time to get the boxes. But when that box is in your garage, whether you're using it for dirty towels, your underwear, or it's just laying on top of the garbage, right? And you walk into that garage, you don't have to stare at it, but when you see the Espos sign, something in your mind, something happens.
Yeah.
And you start getting a little craving, and
So true.
and you're like, why do I want Espos so bad? Well, that one little second that you stared at that box, something crazy happens
That's
in
so
there.
true.
I'm telling you, it's and that's just not just the takeout box. They've been saying that for years about,
Oh yeah.
Other marketing tools, even like a pen.
Yeah.
I got my pens. They cost me nothing.
Right.
I'm like, can I take this pen? Yeah, take 6 of them. Keep them at your house. So every time you write a check, you see Espos.
100%.
And now you're you're thinking about the brand, the name, the whatever else. So
Yeah.
it's like
It's that
it's that
impre-
self-conscious.
You're leaving a mark, and it's that impression. So that's where the digital comes. It's
Oh yeah,
huge because
you're on your
if-
phone the whole day.
Yeah, most people now are they're behind their phone scrolling all day, but that initial impression, if you're out of sight, you're out of mind.
Yeah,
But
yeah, and
the second you pop up, now you're in that
Yeah.
person's mind.
Yeah.
And it's so much more powerful when what you created with Espos and how you run your business. When I'm going there, like I've never had a bad meal. Like
No, I
never had a
appreciate
bad meal, never had a
Yeah.
bad experience.
And guess what? We mess up sometimes.
Oh, 100%. But
Right?
you guys make it right.
That's
You
what
know
it's all about. Guess
Yeah.
what? Again, I'm walking through the dining room. I see a guy. He normally orders a steak medium rare. I look at it. It's well done. It happens. I'm
Yeah.
not perfect.
Yeah.
I look at him. Hey, give me the steak. I'm gonna
Yeah.
recook it. No. Guess what?
But that's the difference. Is what I was trying to say is, if I see a takeout box or a pen from Espos laying around my house,
Yeah.
right? That's the difference of versus another restaurant that I'm like, you know what? Let's just go to Espos tonight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's what makes the Espos symbol that powerful.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it comes down to consistency again.
Yeah.
100%.
Consistency with how much you're marketing, with the brand, and in good times and bad times, and
Right.
you can't cut corners like a lot.
Keeping true to the identity, but also trying to be creative in certain aspects, bring life to the restaurant.
Yeah.
There's so many aspects, so many moving parts
Yeah.
that people look past.
Yeah.
But that's what from what I understand today, that's what makes a
Right.
successful restaurant a successful restaurant.
Yeah.
All those fine details, everything that you kind of explain
Yeah.
there is why. That's why this community has Espos back.
Yeah.
Right? It's because of all that. It's compounding detail essentially.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And do you do any last question? I know you're running out of time, but do you do any type of email marketing or anything?
No.
Or you're solely just on social media, website, word of mouth?
Social media, TikTok, which not that much, honestly.
Yeah.
Instagram, Facebook, the website. That's really it. I mean, I do the church bulletin.
Mm-hmm.
Do I want to do more? Yeah, definitely. I mean, I like those billboards on 206. I like
Yeah.
to do one of those. They're not cheap.
Yeah,
Not
no,
cheap.
they're expensive.
They're expensive. I'd like to do it one day.
Yeah.
But like little things, like me and Uncle Vinny's are sponsoring the St. Anne's beer cups this year for the Festa.
Oh, nice.
So like that's a cool that's a no-brainer,
Right.
And I have such
Absolutely.
a great relationship with Uncle Vinny's because just
Yeah.
like Espos, it's a place I've gone to my whole life, and people are like, oh, that's competition. We're not competition.
No shot.
We have small restaurants.
Yeah.
When I fill up, I send people to him. When
Yeah.
he fills up, he does the same to me.
Awesome.
We work together.
It's kind of funny too.
We are.
Sorry for cutting you off.
No.
But you guys because Louis owns Uncle Vinny's.
Yeah.
He's not Uncle Vinny, and you own
Yeah.
Espos. You're not Espos.
I'm not Espo.
That's kind of.
But
so
we
funny.
we encompass that,
Yeah.
it's and people, I stand where Bobby Esposito was. That's my post, and you turn it. George is like, if I ever see you start drinking VO and water and smoking cigarettes, he's like, I might have to change your name, but you encompass that, and Louis the best.
Oh, he's the man.
Louis been a mentor to me, honestly. He really has. I mean, I've been there as a kid, and
He's a great guy. As soon as we came in to this spot, he's like, anything you guys need, you let me know. Like the community, we help each other out. And it's about family. And going about I love that you actually said that it's not competition. You guys are helping each other out because we just had Joey Raymundo, Media X Marketing, on our first podcast here, and it's just people getting too much in their heads of oh, I got to be better than this person and whatever. And you could be the best, but it's all about working within your community, right?
You should try to be better than yourself the day before.
Exactly.
That's what you should try to do. Whether you're a father, a husband, business owner, best friend, every day you should wake up and say, you know what, I could be a little bit better than I was, And you got to have a little self-reflection. I look in the mirror a lot because it's easy when you're in a position, right? You own a business and who's checking you, right? No wife, no, So you got to look in the mirror once in a while and say, listen, you got to be better.
Yeah.
You be nicer. You're a little miserable today. Put a smile on, you could do more. So I think a lot of people are just like, oh, I'm perfect. And no, and nobody's perfect. You got to have a little self-reflection, look in the mirror and say, what can I do to better myself, to the community, whatever it is. You know, you can't get stuck in the rut. You gotta reinvent yourself once in a while.
That's awesome, man. And it's been a pleasure having you on the podcast.
No, thank you guys. This was great. No, this was great.
We're gonna definitely have a part 2
Yes.
later in the months.
Yep.
But is there anything before we leave? Any type of projects, any type of specials that you've been working on that you're trying to bring to Espos, or is it just?
We got the outside open, call it the Italian Garden. It's in full swing. We got brunch on Sundays, lunch on Fridays. You know, we didn't really even go into the cheesesteaks, but the cheese.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
I
cheesesteaks.
still haven't tried cheesesteak.
You haven't tried cheesesteak? Oh my God! The cheesesteaks have turned into like this. Hey, I want to do Friday lunch. COVID, you know, it was when I kind of wanted to start that, and I saw the window of opportunity to do it. A lot of restaurants closed on lunch on Fridays, and the cheesesteak turned into like this cult following.
Yeah.
Complete cult following, and I just want more people to know about them.
Yeah.
It's
But you guys, you only serve it during lunch, right?
Friday lunch, Sunday brunch. You can now start getting them for catering, which is cool.
That's awesome.
More consistent than we.
So
than
only
we've been-
Friday lunch. You can get.
Friday lunch and then Sunday brunch.
Sunday brunch.
Yeah.
Friday lunch,
yeah.
Sunday brunch.
But if you call me on a Monday and say, Nick, can I get a full tray of cheesesteaks for Thursday? No problem. So we're trying to be a little bit more accommodating because I want people to really try the cheesesteak. It's
How many cheesesteaks catered?
what's that?
What's the size? How many cheesesteaks?
You could get a pair. You could get 4. You could get 8.
Okay.
Yeah. So pair, half tray, full tray.
We might
Cherry,
have to do that next time.
cherry pepper. Yeah, good for like the games. Like
Yeah.
we do a lot for like Super Bowl. We do a million of them, but like during football season, we do a lot of them.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're like crack.
Yeah. Every time I want to try, I'm like, oh, it's not there. It's not. You guys aren't there.
Nah, call me. I'll send some over.
Thank you.
Well, Nick, it's been
thank you
awesome,
so
bro.
No, thank you guys so
Thank
much.
you
I
so
agree.
much.
This was a lot of fun.
Pleasure having you on.
No.
If you haven't yet visited Espos, Raritan, New Jersey, what's the exact address?
10 Street, Raritan, New Jersey. EsposRestaurantandBar.com.
And if you haven't, I promise you it's life-changing. Thank you guys for tuning in, and leave a like, comment, and subscribe to us, and we'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks, Nick.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.